Hello, and welcome to the Introduction to Enhanced Google Analytics by MashMetrics. Whether you are a complete newbie to Google Analytics, been around a few times, or even are quite comfortable with GA but need to know what Enhanced Google Analytics is all about, this course is for you. Let's jump right in with tip number 1, differences between Enhanced Google Analytics and regular Google Analytics. Now, what makes Enhanced Google Analytics by MashMetrics so actionable is our built-in event and goal framework that goes beyond page views and tracks time on page, scrolling, outbound clicks, and so many more activities on your website. Now, while there are many plugins on the market that do this, we also make the events accessible through over 15 pre-configured goals, and these are all described in detail in tip number 2. These events all come to life in our Google Data Studio dashboards, and that will be covered in more detail in tip number 5. But of course, you have access to dozens of reports, segments, and more based upon this framework, and we'll show you how to install those in tip number 7. And we have custom dimensions, allowing you to report by content category, tags, post date, and much more. Lastly, we have dozens of filters created in order to keep your data nice and tidy and clean. Since this will be installed into a new profile, we wanted to let you know how to find it. First, this will be in a separate account. Within the far left-hand dropdown, you'll want to go ahead and choose Enhanced GA. It might be -1, -2, that might change. The property, though, you should see only one that you have access to, unless you've signed up for multiple accounts. These will be prefixed by Enhanced with your own domain name. You'll also see one view, your Enhanced view. This is the one that you will be looking at. From here, you can go into your real-time, audience, acquisition, behavior, conversion, and custom reports from there. Alternatively, you can also, if you're already within the reports, use the menu on the upper left-hand side. Simply click on this drop-down, navigate to the Enhanced GA account, your own enhanced property, and your enhanced view. Voila! You're ready to start looking at actionable insights. Now, when logging in to your new enhanced profile, the first thing you'll likely notice is your bounce rate has changed. It's much lower. Your average session duration might have also increased. Well, I hate to say it, but MashMetrics didn't do anything secret or magical to your website. It's still the same information, but defined a bit differently. See, traditionally, Google Analytics only measures your average session duration from page A to page B. Therefore, in scenario 1, if somebody spent a minute and a half on their first page, then they fill out a form, go to the thank you page, and basically jump off after 20 seconds. In Google Analytics, you only get credit for that first minute and a half. That's probably okay in that first scenario. But in the second scenario, where someone comes to your website, quickly finds what they're looking for, which is a good thing, and then spends a fair amount of time looking at that content, well, Google Analytics is only going to give you credit for that first page, 20 seconds, when in reality, they spent a little bit more than a minute and 50 seconds on your website. It gets really bad for publishers such as food blogs, travel tips, etc. When somebody comes to your website, they may spend a lot of time scrolling up and down, maybe even sharing it to their friends. Let's say they spend 13 minutes engaging in your content. Google Analytics, no love, 0 seconds. Wherein in reality, they spent possibly a good 13 minutes. Within your enhanced profile, however, we give you a bit more credit, or at least 45 seconds per page. When a user has the page visible, not hidden in another tab, we no longer count a bounce if they stay longer than 45 seconds. Now you'll notice in the first example, we don't really add any time to that because they didn't stay longer than 45 seconds on that second page, so the 45-second trigger no longer went off. However, in the second case study, we do give your site a little bit more love. Whereas the third step, while we don't want to keep on sending triggers throughout Google Analytics, we do at least A, not count this as a bounce, and give you a little bit more session duration time. On top of just this 45-second marker, we also give you non-bounce credit when users click a link on your website that might go outside your domain, download a PDF file, share some social content with people, or even fill out a form that might not go to another page. In fact, in the next tip, we will describe how to analyze this behavior in a little bit more detail and show you how you can report on users who spend more than 45 seconds, 2 minutes, download a file, and much, much more. See you next time.